Let's talk a little Dolphins here with Oronde Gadsden. So they played 3 preseason games, and now we look forward to week 1 of the regular season. But was there anything from the 3 preseason games that you take away as a major takeaway about this team?
I think the take one to go worked for Tua. We saw him fall a few times, and it worked. The take one to go work.
Take one to go.
Jiu-jitsu, whatever, taekwondo, whatever he was doing. And so I think we're ready to go. Hopefully we get, our left tackle and our other starting receiver back for the first game. And, I think, everything held up the way it was supposed to hold up. Like I said, and I'm going to continue to say this. I know it's unfortunate and people don't want to hear it, but instead of the running back parade, I need to sign Christian Wilkins back. Yeah. I need to sign him back, man. He stops the run and rushes the pass, and not many people do that. I mean, Aaron Donald, it's a short list. And so I know we want the running backs, and I heard, we don't do it today by 4 o'clock. Jonathan Taylor goes on the pup and all kind of, situations. But for my money, I take the D tackle, because I know he's going to help the team. Now, I know they signed the other D tackle, but
Steeler.
It's tough. But I think we're ready to go play some real football, and I think we're going to give this thing a go, as long as number one can stay healthy.
And OG, it's interesting something we talked about yesterday with Christian Wilkins, where they owe him $11 million this year, and if they franchise him next year, it's $20 million. So then that's about, $15.5 million if you, do the math on those two. Those top tackles are making 25. I think Aaron Donald makes 32 this year. Would you want to lock him in and, I guess make him happy, or kind of play the financial game where you can get a great tackle for 2 years at 15?
But you keep saying great tackle. Who? You know what I'm saying? You once again, and that's one of those positions I think you just the proof is in the pudding. I think he's played it. He's played here. He loves it here. We know what he can do, and I think if we reward him, we'll get a little break. Obviously, we won't pay him. Won't pay him Aaron Donald money, but if you're saying he getting 15 over the next 2 years, maybe we say, hey, 18, then we don't have to go into the 20s or 30s. To pay him, but you bring in somebody else, and I just don't know what D tackle you're gonna get to bring in. That's gonna be, $20 million and be like, oh, he's the guy. You know what I mean? But this guy is a home. We drafted him. He's, cut his teeth here, and so I just think we chipping away from taking the money that should be given to him, because I think the where it gets crossing the line for me is he rushes the passer. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't only stop the run; he got some sacks. Mm-hmm. And so I think just for long longevity, I think he can be a 8-9 year player, but we don't have to worry about it. I don't think he gonna get in any trouble.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a
too.
good dude. He's a football player, and so he has the personality off the field. He's
likable. He's a guy that you can root for.
Yeah. So that's where I'm going with it. But listen, I don't call the shots.
You know what I find a little bit interesting, and maybe this is because we're happy now with Tua, and we like confident Tua. You look for a narrative, I think, every offseason. Every team, every fan base does.
Right.
And we've kind of vacillated this offseason from Dalvin Cook to Jonathan Taylor, Jalen Ramsey, the running back room, the receivers, Christian Wilkins, Zach Sealer, and there's very little talk. There's been some, we talk about Tua and the jiu-jitsu and taekwondo and all that stuff. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think everyone's pretty confident with confident Tua going into this season. The only question mark is, can you stay healthy? Right. But I don't think anyone's concerned about his on-field play anymore.
Right. I don't think there was that last year. Once Tyreek came out and said that, he's, more accurate, I guess, than Patrick Mahomes, I think, everybody was like, whoa, but he showed he was. He showed he can do it. It's just the, injury part is just a part of the game. We talked about this earlier. I talked about this with Josh. going back to the Alabama injury, just throw the ball. Get rid of it. You're holding on the ball waiting for something that should work. It didn't work. Even in Cincinnati, like throw the ball away. Like get rid of it. Like it didn't work. Like, you see the greats, the Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers. They just throw the ball on the ground. They run a screen and scream, and they just throw the ball on the ground. We regroup and get ready for the next play. I think he just has to learn that more than, the falling and taking the injuries. But, it's a simple concept. The top tier quarterbacks, I'm not going to say they don't get injured or they don't get hurt, but they play most of the games. And if we can get Tua to play, the majority of the games, I think we'll have a good season.
And OG, it was two sides of an argument we had a couple of days ago. I think I'm kind of on Hawk's side with I believe, second year of McDaniel's offense. Tua's comfortable now, got a little weight on him, like learning how to fall, all that stuff. But the offense starts fast. And Hawk's point was we start fast and then maybe some injuries happen and then it slows down. Then Solana was saying he thinks they start out slow and have to figure it out. How do you think? Are we coming out scoring 30 or you still think we got to figure out how to run this offense?
I want to be on Solana's side just because, but man, they just wrong. I mean, I watched the games when we started. I mean, we had the both receivers had like 2,000 yards, like the first after the Ravens game. Like we do start fast, and it's the same thing though. And that's my, one of my concerns as well. The book is out. Like last year, the first 10 games, the book wasn't out. And then I think after that Chargers game, they just like, all right, we're going to let Tua make the decision. You know what I mean? Like, we just going to drop back. Because he was hitting, Tyreek Hill on the quick hitters, on the out and ups and back comebacks. And they just started backing off, because we were playing too tight, trying to play man. You get beat one time, and then they go score. But I think after the Chargers, the book was out. Like, just back up. The 49ers did the exact same thing. Just back up and make him throw underneath because he wants to hit Tyreek Hill deep, And so this year you're going to have to see the adjustments. But then, what helped was the running game came, that Buffalo game, the boy had 146, rushing yards, in the first half almost, and so, we got to see that. That's why I'm not too concerned about the running back situation because, the guys in that room look like they can handle the running game. Obviously it's going to be by committee. All of them have, 450 yards. One got 500. The rest got 300. But I think we can do it by committee because of the way the offense is set up. And so, I'm waiting for Robbie to come and break out. He's a homeboy. He's from here. So I know he wants to do well. But somebody has to be, that third guy. I mean, I know we restructured, Cedric Wilson's contract, right? Because we gave him probably too much.
Yeah. Certainly for the production.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So, we need that third guy to be, whether it's Barrios or Cedric Wilson, we need somebody because, how I clamored about it, all last year. That Gesicki should have been the third guy, but, we don't even have, that tight end like that anymore. So we'll see. I just, those guys get paid money too. And I'm pretty sure all off season, they've been trying to figure out the McDaniel magic and trying to see what happens. And, hey, Tyreek came out and said he's going to get 2,000 yards. So that's going to be, let's see.
But would you want to see more of a commitment to the run game earlier in the season than we saw last year, OG? Just because we saw what happens when that playbook gets figured out, and the Dolphins, they were slow to adjust prior to Tua's injury in the second half of the season. Would you want to see them really commit to the run game a little bit more? I know you have those weapons on the outside, but just to kind of establish it early on.
Well, that's the whole thing about it. It's quarterback heavy. You know what I mean? Like the quarterback is the engine. And when the engine's down, I don't really care who, if we run the ball first or throw the ball first, it's off. Like, obviously in San Francisco, they're doing something totally different because the quarterback is not the engine. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't need Trey Lance. We put Brock Purdy in. We keep Sam Darnold. It doesn't matter. But for us, it's quarterback heavy. He is the guy. He's the guy that runs the show. And as long as Tua's in there, it'll all work out. But if he's not in there, Mike White, whoever has the reins have to control it. So I don't know. Whether we run the ball or throw the ball, let's just win these games and keep Raphael upright for most of them.
Raphael Septien.
Yeah, number one.
OG, I'm glad you brought up the offense because, like you said, we see Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, where no matter who's played quarterback, that run scheme and Daniel and McVay came from that Shanahan tree. It seems like Kyle might call it a little better than McDaniel. You've been an offensive guy playing on prolific offenses back with Troy Aikman and them boys in Dallas, and just seeing Dan Marino play. Like, when you watch McDaniel's offense, are you impressed by the scheme or the people make it?
Well, like we alluded to, the scheme works until they figure it out. Then you need the quarterback to make the plays. I think that's where it goes. Those guys, and even the guys now, make the plays. Listen, you don't have to look at it. Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, the big guys, they don't matter what play is called. They don't check out of it. Like, Dan ain't listening to that play called in his helmet. You know what I'm saying?
Just turn the volume down.
Good try, Jimmy. But you know what I'm saying? But you think Dan was listening to Kippy Brown? No. But I think when they call a play, you need the guy to be able to make the checks. Because obviously when they figure it out, and I think, you heard Action Jackson in Baltimore say, hey, I got the offense. It's mine. I can make the check. Whereas before it was the offense, run the ball, you gonna run. Now you can make the check because you got the weapons. So if they all out, if they jam the middle, let's throw outside. If they jam the outside, let's run in the middle. And that should be Tua's call. And I think as you get on, toward the playoffs, the quarterback becomes, real integral to what you're doing.
Oronde Gadsden, he's with me at Twin Peaks in Davie. Crowder is up in New Jersey. Solana is at the studio.
If you give me a knife, we have to cut this pecan roll.
No, you're not having my pecan roll. Get yourself what do you have, like a brownie sundae or something? Get him a brownie sundae or something.
Brownie a la mode, please.
You want to, as we wrap things up here, because we always enjoy our time at Twin Peaks. Did you enjoy the flatbread, the blazing flatbread? What is the
hottie?
The hottie.
The hottie.
The hottie. It's got the jalapenos on it.
Japalinos make it.
Yeah, the Japalinos. Yeah, give us a couple extra.
Channing, why are you in the closet with your good clothes on? You don't dress like that on the radio.
I'm at a real small church.
Oh, okay. Hallelujah.
Church for one.
Church for one.
Righteous Chanstone. All right, we got to take a break. Oronde Gadsden, he will join us on Tuesdays during football season. We are getting that much closer. So, Oronde, the second plays Saturday. Syracuse plays Saturday?
Yeah, Colgate.
They got Colgate. Favors there. Yeah.
3:30. 3:30, just trying to get it together, trying to get ready.
Gotta get it up to speed.
Yeah.
Play the toothpaste.
Seeing if the plays work. Seeing if I got to listen to my coach or not listen to my coach.
Colgate this Saturday. Crest next week. Get those numbers up.
Get those numbers. They're trying to get them all in right now.
Fresh. All right, we'll take a.
You see my hat, don't you? That's all we need.
3.5.
That's all we need. That's it.
Was that Wanstead make those hats?
Nah.
Who made those hats?
Me. 3.5. That's all we need. 3 the first half, 3 the second.
You're talking about receptions or points?
The reception.
Oh, all right. I would thought it was the memory of Tony Sperano for a second. All we need is 3.5.
No.
That
Catches.
Was 3.5 men's shirt.
No, 3.5 men. No.
All right. So 3.5. OG the second. Get 3 catches a half. He's going to be good to go.
Good to go.
All right. Very good. We'll keep an eye on him this season. Oronde Gadsden